focusing on here today.
And when I think back even a few years ago, I always remember Hampus being a decent fragger in some of the lower levels of the Swedish scene on teams like Red Reserve and Godsent. But considering that he's been an in-game leader for so many years, we haven't seen him unleashed. And I think now that they've made this changeover for Alexi, this could be an opportunity to see what Hampus is made of at the Tier 1 level.
It's under the leadership of Alexi that they will try and do much better than they have done in previous. NiP looking to bounce back from their elimination in Pro League. Trigo 2-0 here in the road to Rio. It's the pistol round here on Vertigo, our sixth match of the day here between NiP and Bad News Eagles. We've got dualies out on two individuals, so quite a lot of firepower and rapid fire in for the CT forces.
And funny enough, you think back to the last head-to-head in that RMR, it was actually at the exact same stage, the second round of the Swiss, but maybe the first kill of the game. rigoN with that P250, annihilating Brollan up there towards the alley entrance.
Great shot, opening start. Incendiary is now sent back towards the back of the sandbags. No one's there from NiP though. All three players are in the back and center of the site.
Rez and Co getting quite aggressive around these default positions. Smoke's going to go down and Rez is going to aggress.
On tapping, Rez flashed in, swing forward, gets nothing through trouble. Senna gets the kill to a 5-on-3 now. Grush is on to three individuals at a BNE camp, but no one's gone down yet. Finally, Alexi swings up and gets the job done himself. rigoN to 4. 4v3 post plant, however, BNE have the bomb down.
Alexi's going to try and get aggressive, and you can see the way that BNE are just backing off, playing the clock and playing as a unit.
Yeah, force them forward, out position, try stall away from the bomb defuse. Yes, they all go down short, but they'll be so far out of the site, they might not come in time. Senna and Duan Flattrue come up good with their kills. Hampus in a 1-on-4 situation, desperate to hold on. Does get away with one decent pick, but now being chased out of that site himself. GXX with the kill. It's a pistol game for BNE.
And just the start that the Bad News Eagles are looking for. Try and get that momentum down there on the T side. And we know that for Vertigo of them, 2 wins and 2 losses in the last 3 months against an NiP team of 2 wins and 1 loss. You mentioned it a little bit earlier on there, Jay. Very little game time has been achieved on this map for both of the teams in the last 3 months.
Slightly better record for NiP by that. And again, something we've been talking about is the Tier 1 experience. A lot of the results they've gotten have been against Vitality, against Mouse, who obviously have been stellar in their Pro League run most recently. Come back to that in a second, because we are seeing BNE fast play in towards the stairs. NiP meeting them head on, seeing Esatag get the opening kill, but Senna takes him right back to a 4-on-4 situation. Meanwhile, Flattrue in towards mid, engaging Rez, trying to see if they can drop him on that 5-7 in the mid-control 4-on-4 situation. Hampus tanking a lot of damage, and in general, the HP bars are pretty low for NiP, so they shouldn't last much longer in this round.
It seems like they actually want to try and achieve an A stack now and just give the respect over towards the B stairs and think to themselves, we'll gamble on A. If it doesn't work out, we'll just hold on to our weapons, because there's just no way that much can be achieved with this little HP. And this is a style of game that we can expect from BNE. It's quick, it's in your face, it's aggressive. And if they can continue to put the charge up, I mean, you think about the opening 15 seconds of that round, and it's just all out chaos there at the B stairs.
Flash is sent over. Incendiary's put down. They try and make their way in towards that B site. Again, no one to resist them. NiP is so focused on the A stack because they've just got such little HP here. Bomb will go down. Retake. I mean, it might be on, but realistically speaking, like if it is, then it's going to be so unsuccessful for the Ninjas, so they don't even bother with it. So save those weapons, save this Kevlar. And to go back to what I was saying before the round had begun, obviously NiP have been playing against Vitality and Mouse and all these great Tier 1 teams versus BNE, who are up against Sinners and Sprout and Masonic, and some of those have been like a bit hit and miss with the wins and losses. So again, the caliber of teams they faced on Vertigo in the past have been so different.
And just the LAN experience as well for BNE being so minimal against a team like NiP. On average, all of the players have got about 50 maps on record for LAN for the Kosovonians. You think back to where some of them have played, obviously the Antwerp, RMR, the Major 2. They played at one of those Giraffe 50 Masters events, and even Flattrue and sinnopsyy played at one of the last Asia Minors for Berlin in 2019. Have not seen these guys very often on the international stage. And see themselves 2-0 up. Should be a 3-0.
As they keep a little bit of extra firepower in from the previous round, NiP. 5-7s on 3 individuals, SMG, Kevlar, and helmets. Helmets on 2, just Kevlar for 2 others. And these Eagles, as you mentioned, should be on for their 3rd round, and pretty effectively so. Any extra firepower will be a bonus for NiP. Let's see what damage they can do.
Just get as much out of this eco as possible. Stack up quite heavy outside of the ramp control. And Senna just peering into the bottom of the B stairs, just looking up to the railings in case there's any aggressive approaches. NiP want to try and see if they can get as much out of this MP9 in particular as possible.
Smoke's on. Grabbing that bomb and trying to rotate. Here's the B play where B&E will look to go. No one on that defensive line. They've got mid presence, sure, but other than that, NiP, nothing to receive here on the B site. It'll be up to the rotations, which they would have dismantled in the end. Might put X10 to the defense.
sinnopsyy just trying to sell the fake towards the top of the ramp as the Xe goes in towards the B site. Ring of fire, no one here. This should be an easy post plant setup for B&E, even if they have given up a rifle.
Quick entry from two individuals. Senna to take some damage. SMG is boosting. He doesn't quite win the fight as the boost gets dismantled very quickly. Senna with a kill. 4 on 4. Bomb goes down. Retake is on. They are going to charge one player forward in Hampus, and that was a suicide dive if I've ever seen one. Dead to rights. 3 left. This should be done.
They're just cleaning up the act. So many spam bullets connecting via through those smokes. Alexi B and Rez, the last couple left. And when you consider the fact that they didn't offer a massive amount of expense in that round, you come away with a safe AK. You've got to be happy with that.
Upgrade from what they had before. And it's taken away by a jumping shot from the SMG. So 3-0 start here. Not quite saved in by NiP. Can be okay with the damage at this particular stage. Again, it was a bit more of a bonus eco. And the guns can come through. So they do achieve the bottom line.
Just knowing that NiP have got a good track record this year in best of ones, 9 wins and only 5 losses. Compare that to B&E with 9 wins and 7 losses. So a little bit more to the tally when it comes to how many games have been played from B&E. It's whether that can translate to the result. 3-0 for the start has been thoroughly good for the T side. And now the pressure starts building towards ramp aggressively again.
Brollan with a kill immediately on rigoN just before that smoke blew him. Spotted him, sprayed him. Took his head off. Started things off on the right foot here. Bad news, Eagles. Down by a man.
Brollan just trying to see if he can escape. More spam going down towards that bottom of ramp position. B&E looking to try and see if they can find some leverage to get a trade back. Even that molly to the right-hand side, that should force sinnopsyy out to the open, at least be a little bit deeper.
Lean in, sprays back, flat throat. 37 HP as he takes that damage. And Rez will continue prodding away, trying to see if he can catch that man off. Awkward engagements, but it's getting real close towards the kill. Meanwhile, Brollan getting real close to the T-line. A gap in that smoke at top to play with. He'll spot one, take the kill. sinnopsyy dangerously close there with that bomb. Re-smoke on, is still going to get spotted, is still going to get killed. 5 on 2 now for NiP.
Just feeding themselves to Brollan. No utility up onto that sequence. That re-smoke could not have been timed any better. And Brollan comes away with so much impact. You now start thinking about what the response theoretically could be here for Senna and Flatroo. They don't have much control at all. They need a fight to even get the bomb back.
Incendiary sent down again to suppress for even more time. 30 seconds left for Bad News Eagles. Flatroo is still low HP. Red side, he can finish off the job here. B&E are going to back away. Hold on to their rifles with a save. Our first round goes the way of NiP.
And we saw a LAN being attended to quite recently for B&E in the local Czech scene, taking on Sinners and Eklot in the semi-final and grand final respectively, taking home that trophy. Trying to see if they can add a little bit more to the repertoire when it comes to the team overall. For NiP, that is a clinching sort of round. A lot of damage done from Brollan, no casualties at all. That makes a statement.
Start out for the Swedish core. Bad News Eagles. Quickly back on the buy here. Haven't lost a massive amount of money here. Very early doors still, but the economy was bolstered, so see the AKs back immediately. Now AWP for NiP in the meantime. One AK saved to be running a bit more bonus firepower. Alt leans in towards mid, where it might be challenged by some individuals.
Now, this vertical crossfire could be dangerous, and it's going to be just a dry walk swing coming through. sinnopsyy to be the first one to drop, and Flatroo has not decided to swing on the contact.
Backs away instead. Alexi takes the forward face at the edge of the stack, hearing all these footsteps, knows that the smoke's coming in and this player must be around the corner. Looks to try wrap said corner, but doesn't quite catch the kill. Molotovs and nades will keep him away. And sinnopsyy didn't quite see the man out towards there. The smoke in the way of rigoN's boost. It will start to fade. The man will make some noise. Spots ahead of that flashbang coming in from the CT side. Perfectly timed to bail sinnopsyy out, keep him alive. And now the T's are forced to move forward again.
And now they've just got to brute force the entries forward. sinnopsyy trying to see if he can move away out to the open. Senna doesn't catch him. Great flashbangs keeping the CT's blind. 5 on 3. Needs to convert some kills. Indeed, rigoN will burn sinnopsyy. Flatro comes up alongside rigoN's trade. Rez forced to respond to a 2-on-2. Drop that bomb. rigoN extends forward. Dry face costs him his life. And it's GXX alone. 22 HP with the open and 1-on-2 scenario. He's just trying to see if he could draw one of these fights out into the open, but look at the discipline. The CTs are just offering up a bomb plant at this point.
20 seconds. I'll try put it up on a default. GXX now. Nade, dead. Brollan knew what was going on. Knew exactly how to deal with that round. Free AWP for the CT side now if they want it. AK is also on the floor if they want to get those. Indeed, it will be an AWP and an AK saved here by the NiP camp. That's 2 in a row. 3-2 score.
GXX looked incredible on the City side of Dust 2 versus Eternal Fire yesterday. 19 frags and only 4 deaths, 110 ADR and a 1.99 rating. Now you look back a little bit deeper into what happened overall in that match. They were 12-3 at the half, ended up going all the way to 16-14 to get the job done. And they lost 10 rounds in a row to even be down by 1. So stretching it to the absolute maximum. Something that we can expect today.
Looking with the rifles, of course, pistols to match it for B&E. Bomb plant bonus, not enough to go for another investment. So half sees up with the Tech 9s and Deagle. Kevlar helmets on a few. Gonna walk into the mid position. We'll have Hampus there to cut them off.
B&E just trying to see if they can get another one of these explosions, split into that B site, put some pressure on. It's all about the opening entries with this sort of round.
Waiting on the utility to come out towards that mid position. Hampus ready with the Incendiary to block them away from Scaff. Gap in that smoke as well for Rez to abuse. So Alexi will rotate back, try and join his teammates on the B site defense. And Rez will just wait for someone to move up. He saw the jump, saw the second. Molotov sent towards him, will call in for backup. sinnopsyy holds down the main B site entry. Meanwhile, rigoN and sinnopsyy to fall. Hampus gets one on Flatro. GXX alone in the 1 versus 5. Might have been a star in the previous map up. But in this round, nothing gained for him. 3-all, NiP have equalized.
And maybe if you haven't watched NiP for a little while, it might be a surprise to see Rez AWPing. One of the things that we obviously know about this team was most recently they had Fuzi from the academy team filling in, being that main AWPer. We saw sinnopsyy taking that into the fold, being able to provide as much with the big green as possible. But there has been a shift only very recently. Now we've got sinnopsyy being a little bit of a hybrid, secondary AWPing here or there, but Rez has taken that role into his own and something that's going to be very new for his career.
Maybe a role change that might work better for NiP. Again, they've been looking for the changes that completely shift up their game plan. Not the only change to be made in this roster, of course. The swing forward from Brollan, a much more stable piece out towards 51. Gets the kill on sinnopsyy. And Rez swings out very quickly to try to look below that smoke. Will not see GXX or rigoN just yet. So focused on the main ramp of the main bridge area. Still going to press the issue, making noise. rigoN knows it, and Rez is forced to back off with the blind spray.
Even Brollan could put that incendiary down, try and slow it into the fold. Needs to get a flash over from a teammate if he wants to try and peek from this position from the sandbags again.
They know exactly where he is, but there's no Molotovs here. Senna has got to rotate the position, put the nades out. Finally, that will do some damage, but still sinnopsyy comes up with the kill. rigoN forced to respond, look to sight, catch the AWPer for the double, and Alexi now out of side alley, being faced in by 2 individuals. Flatru baits him, swings out, gets the headshot. Now reducing NiP to 2 players. The 3 of B&E in the post plant. The bomb goes down, the smokes are in. The incendiaries and nades will come out. Flatru's going to have to back off.
Hampus not quite catching with that util. Needed to keep the attention back down towards ramp now.
Flatru with a swing. Detected spray. 2-on-2. But Hampus took some damage. rigoN's also low in this exchange. And have to rest on GXX to come in for the side swipe. NiP Waiting to put the smoke down on that bomb. Try to go for the ninja stick, but swung out before it blooms. rigoN gets the kill on Essa tag, and GXX finds happens in the backside. BNE hold the lead.
Yeah, that's the rigoN that we all know and love. We didn't get to see a massive amount from him in that Eternal Fire series, going -11 in the KD differential. Try and see if they can get some further impact out of him today. Climbing up towards that sandbags position quickly, even Flatroo. That crosshair placement onto Alexi B is crisp, and that's always something that we expect at the highest level for BNE. Is crosshair placement is just, it's fantastic.
Advantage maintained by the Kosovonians. NiP fighting for the ramp control again, going to try and take an advantage from beyond that smoke. rigoN take the 36. It's a small start, not a kill.
sinnopsyy putting the lurk smoke up towards the top of the ramp. The in-game leader on the BNE side yet to get a number up onto the board. 0-5 as of right now, trying to get some more support from the riflers around him. Brollan, we've seen how successful he's been when he's got aggressive to the bottom of the tarps.
A minute and 10. rigoN. Way up the stairs, up the ladder, into the ladder room. Alongside GXX to try and prod towards mid. A couple of players there to receive them. They're being very passive.
BNE trying to see if they can catch a timing. This SMG is going to have to be careful on how aggressive the approach is. Needs to try and get a crossfire set with Hampus.
Flash in. Then with the flash ready on the CT basis for Hampus sending back to his M4. Brollan forced to provide assistance on center. 4-on-4. Rotations inbound. The T's are going to press the issue. Hampus in the corner, unknown. Flash over. Could line up two. That's exactly what he gets for it. Drops that bomb. rigoN right ahead of him. Will get the kill. Spot the player in the back, but doesn't register and doesn't adjust in time. That's a tag with a trade. GXX alone in a 1-on-3.
That was quality coming through from Hampus. Look at what he does there, Jay. He puts the incendiary down towards that Guardian wrap-in from mid and focuses attention out towards the top of the B stairs. And as soon as he realizes that that re-smoke comes down, bring your attention back over. Look up to the top of there at Guardian, allow a couple of kills to flow into the mix and just hold for so much time. Allow Esatag on the rotate to get involved. Brollan down there from City Spawn doing well. And NiP find their 4th round. First tactical for BNE.
I think first one called in this game in general, I believe. First moment's respite, of course. This one has been a bit of a back and forth affair. Yes, BNE got the start with the pistol and conversions. NiP bounced back, and we've been back and forth for a few rounds now. No signs that a war of attrition will break, because the AWP staying in for GXX indicates there might be a force invest inbound. It will be a weak one, though. Money's not fantastic for Bad News Eagles.
Have a chat with Stickle, the coach of BNE. You mentioned, Jay, that we haven't seen roster changes from BNE. And one change that they have made is a new assistant coach of KJ, the Canadian, an analyst for Liquid and TSM back in the day. Try and see if he can help them with the preparation coming into these games, and then Stickle to be the man of the moment during the games.
Half by around it for this round. BNE's game plan will be in the future, not the present. Flashes in against them. The AWP will not be allowed a simple pick above that smoke. Nade actually sent right towards him. A very nice lob there from Rez. So already a back foot for Bad News Eagles.
GXX is the highest rated player for BNE when it comes to Vertigo in the last 3 months. So to see him down at 2 kills may not be encouraging as this best of 1 continues. They'll have to try and get much more out of the big man because we know his capability.
And backing away from tarps. You can see GXX trying to hunt for that pixel gap. Spot the man, get the kill. Let's count the smokes down instead for the CT side to block off vision. Has been seen, the shot does get baited, so that's info now for NiP.
It gets very silent and very much on the slow play down there towards the bottom of ramp. Not something that we expect all too often from BNE, but what we may expect in the future is more utility damage. Look at that HE placement.
Right, a fair amount of chunky nades over the course of these 2 maps, Blake. One's available now for Rez to try and capitalize upon that damage, getting sinnopsyy to kick things off. GXX caught off for the double up. 5-on-3, and look at the HP bars. Bron's going to burn center from beyond, and even contact. Kill on Flatroo, triple up for Rez. Quadra, yeah, just about. drops that bomb, drops BNE, and drops the lead now for NiP.
And one thing that we have seen in the previous head-to-heads, Jay, even if it has been 6-5 months ago, is that they've been quite competitive. You think back to the Inferno result, went to overtime, the Ancient result, 16-12, the Ancient result at the RMR in the second round of Swiss, 16-11 as well. So expect quite a tight game when it comes to the scoreline. At least that's what the history books tell us.
Present tells us a lead for NiP and BNE, a broken by in spite of that half invest. Money hurting GXX especially, but even sinnopsyy's Mac 10 is dealt with immediately. Rez, another kill to add to the tally. 9 frags deep so far in this matchup, but it's all a ruse to draw attention away from the B side. They're inbound very quickly towards his S-attack, forced to use the incendiary and flash from a teammate. Get back to position and stop the hit.
They've got to go. They've got to double pump this. There's no way they can cancel again. They've got to commit.
Another flash, incendiary sent down. They think they might still be close. Nades on center doing minimal damage by comparison to what it could have done. Hampus does get caught by Flatro, so there's a little bit more info for S-Attack to play with. Swing from LXCB, also caught blinded. GXX down to 37 on the mid face, and now the execution comes in for Truth as S-Attack lines up to not aware to the player in the back, will adjust towards center anyway. 4 versus 2 scenario for NiP. They're ready to deal with all challenges.
It seems like NiP are really switched on to the kind of style of play that they're going to expect in a game like this today. And GXX and Senna just working the 2v4, but at this point onwards, you've got the CTs that are stacked up on B.
Spray attempt for Senna goes awry. Rez gets a triple in this round, doubling up on the exit frags. The last 2 of BNE. 6-4 now. NiP start to pull away.
And you can just see that sometimes the styles of some of these tier 2 opposition teams need to be adapted when you play some of the best in the world, because it's just not going to work the same. That last round had Flatroo being sent super aggressively up towards the top of the ramp, and the flashes just aren't catching Rez blinded at all. He's playing towards the sandbags, playing that anti-flash position, and as soon as he catches the lurk, all the information is there to pummel the util in for the BXE.
A fast play from these pistols attempted up towards ramp. Rez evading any incendiaries that might be sent his way. Got a couple of nades keeping him at 4 points of health. We're now being back up here in LXCB, making his way out alongside Brollan on the crossfire. Indeed, they do protect their teammate. They sacrifice themselves, to be fair. Rez is now going to escape. The 3-on-2 has been gained, as is an M4 for BNE.
And this is where we want to see some of that X factor that we can expect from the BNE side. 2v3, Deagle in the hands of rigoN. We know that he's very capable with that weapon. And sinnopsyy with the M4 still looking to see if he can get started up on the board with his first kill.
Tech9s, Rez corner, Hampus. Oh, head taken clean off. That's a shot. Rez low HP as well. Might also fall. That was crispy from sinnopsyy. This round is back on for BNE. S-Attack, knowing he's got the HP advantage and the weapon advantage here. Particularly above rigoN. sinnopsyy will be the big concern, and they converge the crossfire. rigoN maintains his passiveness, and sinnopsyy secures the steal.
There we go. That's what we want. That's what we've all come for. That is the eco steal in from BNE, and sinnopsyy with that Tech9 is doming. The slight jiggle that comes through from the alley position, the tap up to headshot on orange, and then of course the reposition. The M4 back out towards ramp, getting that final kill. That is precision with sinnopsyy.
Beautiful shots. The one on Hampus was great. The one on Rez, yes, he was like 4 or 5 points of HP. But it still was stellar. Utterly stellar stuff. And bad news, Eagles get right back in control for it. NiP forced to take a minute. This one continues going back and forth, Dweg.
NiP thought that they had them on the ropes for the moment there. Thought that they could have started extending their lead, get their money in a good position to farm it up, to start looking for perhaps even double digits in the first half. Instead, the steal comes through for BNE, and now it's touch and go again.
Blind behind smokes, BNE going to bait all those bullets, knowing that those players must be up there. They have forced forward so many times here in ramp. Flashes, Molotov sent over. GXX going to watch the sandbag. Expect there to be some sort of face in the CT forces. Minute and 20, and bad news, Eagles will press up onto the ramp default.
Brollan has to be wary on where he repositions to, get the incendiary down towards the top of the ramp position. rigoN's still waiting for the overpeak, and it does come through, but he doesn't find anything.
Rez gets that kill. GXX ready for the shot back on Brollan. 4-on-4 situation gets the kill on sinnopsyy. Now to 4-on-3, but 1 HP for the man. He's going to get forced away from position now as he gets back to the center of the site. Flatterer ready for the swing, giving up a couple of shoulder baits, but not quite finding the kills. Even NiP back off.
I want to play it cautiously. They've still got a couple of smokes to work with, and for B&E, it's all about the contact once again. They've got to look at Senna to start creating some space, and GXX to do some work with the AWP at the sandbags.
Smoke sent. Set up for the execution. The flash is back as GXX takes a bit of damage. Flatterer, similar story, but the kills come in for 2 other individuals. BNE, a 3-on-2. Alexi B now flashed in, engaging center and getting that kill back to evens. GXX low, Flatterer less than half. 10 seconds is what to the clock. They've got to get this bomb on the site and committed. Plant down at default. Tag will not swing to deny. They might swing right into the hands of the AWP, and indeed they will, but Tag quick to the responsive. A 1-on-1. Now Smoke close to the bomb, not quite on it. The AWP, a known entity. Tag will tap it. Is he going to stick the whole thing? Looks like he will. GXX thinking it's going to be a face, but he has no idea that he's about to lose this round. 7-5 for the Ninjas as Tag just held cover and held face.
And that's a very good communication of information in that sort of stance, because they know GXX is low and he has an AWP. So that kind of means he's not going to try and fight you down. He's going to play super cautiously, wait for a double tap, maybe even a triple tap until he peaks. So with that information in mind that he's low and he's got an AWP, just stick it, mate. You've got a smoke to work with. That's really well played there from Tag.
Knowing the AWP was in play and all. Information played to perfection for NiP. Tactical now coming up from B&E this time. Second used in this game for them. Should be able to scrape the buy together. It does look a little bit awkward, but there's enough cash to drop weapons, and of course the saved AWP assists in that regard. Head Kevlar, no major limits. The bad news Eagles, of course, NiP took a ton of damage, so their economy is yet to truly recover despite being 1 away from the half.
The trio of mix of Flatterer, sinnopsyy, and rigoN participating here for B&E. Their ex-teammate of Tutson playing over from Fantasy. Some more of the ex-teammates coming into the fold here at the RMR.
Lots of intersecting stories here. Some very fun ones that we could chase as the tournament plays out. A very fun nade again from Tag right at rigoN's feet. 16 HP. Nade placement has been something of a beauty in this matchup. Senna, however, does get the opening kill against the CT line. Molotov sent to backside, not towards quad. Actually sent towards the back of the back position. No one's going to check campus here. He's going to burn. Still look for a player in the back, relying on Lexi B to get the opening kill. But one player's pushed up forward for the T side, unsupporting in the campus kill. Finally, sinnopsyy gets that trade, but both him and rigoN are extremely low and down by a man advantage. That's the half gained. Not accounting for quad, though, was the big mistake that Bad News Eagles made. Hampus allowed to run riot in the backside. It means that the economy gets knocked back a peg here for the T's. Half investment with a hero AK.
Now, even though the sample size is small, Jay, both teams have a better track record with the round win percentage on T side. What does that say going into the second half? Because I'm looking at this for NiP, and I'm picturing a 10-5.
I'm with you there, honestly. SMG for Alexi B will try to pick apart all T side elements. One concern might be Senna with the helmets. Everybody else, probably a bit more of a formality. I say that. Senna rushes him down here with the Tech 9, gets a double. Already seen Tech 9 plays, and the AK comes up good now for a 4-on-2 situation. Maybe 10-5 might be a bit of a stretch now. NiP, Caster's cursed by Dweg. B&E should be up to 6.
And they've done well with their stills, I'll give them that much. This has been 2 from 2 on the half buys where they've come out massively with success. And I'm starting to get a bit of a trend here where RealXyB is getting caught off guard quite a bit with these mid pops. Anytime they get super aggressive in mid and try and wrap into B, he's either too aggressive with the MP9 or caught rotating back over towards the elevators. That's happened a few times now.
One punishing point that BNE have utilized, can utilize here in the next round, in the last round of the half, of course. Didn't see Brollan, so he remains safe, just about. Not being hunted by those wall bangs. So indeed, that is going to be that 6th with 2 rifles staying in play. And for NiP, very important because the money is a bit of a wreck here.
BNE relying quite heavy on some of those still rounds to keep this game competitive. And for NiP, looking long-term, seemed like they were going to have a very solid first half. Now we're looking at the potential of only an 8-7 at best. Look at the buy. Not ideal at all. They're going to have to get as much out of Brollan as possible, and Rez for that matter.
Nice nades. Brollan tagged. Chunked down at just over 50 points of HP. It's one M4 that might be worth passing off to a teammate. Rez's other M4 set in towards the sandbag position. I'll boost up Hampus on that for Mars here. Try to see if they can get him up. I think he might have heard that. In Mars potentially by the incendiary sounds. Meanwhile, in mid, BNE start the walkout. There's one man to receive them and defend the A side. That's RealXyB.
It's the search of information, which is going to be important in this round for BNE. Get themselves some structure to walk in. And now, even that wrap, this is setting up to be a round over.
Back turns. Kill not quite found. That nade should do it, though. No, it doesn't. Somehow Alexi's alive and Rez can strike towards the A site. Meanwhile, Senna comes in for the backstab, deals with Brollan on a 4-on-4. Essa tag, suppressing rigoN here at the top. So where do they go with this? BNE could still rotate to the B site, but they have their heart set on A, it seems.
And this is where there's a bit more of a stack involved. You've got Alexi getting aggressive out towards the B stairs. The CT's getting aggressive to the top of ramp as well.
Reducing NiP to 2 now. Senna trying to account for RealXyB's counter backstab. The SMG, how much does it wait for? Doesn't wait for anything at all. Flatcher catches him off, and Hampus is left alone now to clutch this situation. We're going to have to try his hand at the defensive and retake. But the realistic scoreline seems to be 8-7. BNE would make up the difference.
The BNE have put on a bit of a show, and that's what we're all hoping for, to keep it competitive against some of the best teams in the world, against the Tier 1 competition. The idea that they've managed 7 rounds in this first half has got to be looked at as an achievement. Hampus trying to get as much out of this clutch as possible. Know exactly where he is. Players on the bomb side. GXX is going to drop him. 7 rounds of BNE. I think they've got to be happy with that.
It is NiP that have the lead in what has been a back-and-forth game and a back-and-forth first half. I imagine it might be back-and-forth for the second. We'll find out when we return.
to my face. Tell me now why you want to wait. Running out.
It's been a fantastic first half from both teams. Back and forth, the 8-7 NiP just edging out the Bad News Eagles. And as we go to the second half, how much momentum can carry on here, Dweg?
You've got to imagine quite a lot. We compared the series of what we saw yesterday, 10-5 at the turn of the half on the CT side for NiP, and 12-3 at the turn of the half on the CT side for BNE against Eternal Fire. So both teams have come in with some very respectable first halves and close it down in the second. This time around, it could be a brawl, and I'm expecting that to be the same.
You say 12-3 over Eternal Fire for BNE. That matchup ended 16-14 for BNE, so maybe there might be a bit more of a stall situation here. The fear of that for the Bad News Eagles. Pistols getting started and going live with initial contact out towards that B site. NiP now on the T half with the Glocks pulled in. Util for Rez and Alexi. Default pistols for the Bad News Eagles the same. It's a very slow approach to the pistol.
Well, this is just a retake A setup coming through for BNE where they're going to stack up on A quite heavily. And if it is a B site lean, then let's bring all of our players back over. We've got a kit, we've got some util for center. So you'd imagine for NiP, this is going to be a post-plant 5-on-5.
Molotov sent over towards the back site, of course, to clear out any common positions that the CTs might be holding from, but they're about to find out sinnopsyy, the closest player, all the way back at spawn, turned away from the face that was coming in from Brollan. The bomb will get planted, the retake will be on. They have a kit in play.
And they need these nades to be absolute perfection. Got to drive these Ts out to the open.
Smokes incendiaries will try to discombobulate the main front of the T-side forces, but Brollan draws out first blood alongside Rez. Flack forced the trade, but they're all falling apart for BNE. 3 for 1, 3 for 2 trades. Hampus chimes back in with a double and closes out the round for the pistol for the Ninjas.
And you could just see there for BNE's perspective, they try and get the molly down to the site, the smoke off to the top of the stairs, and just start raining in. But it's the amount of damage and distraction that gets pulled from that quad angle from Brollan that assists NiP in that round. They can start allowing a little bit of chaos. You've even got the player of Hampus getting aggressive up towards the generators, really starting to close in the distance, and making NiP only 1 round away now from double digits.
Step up to the plate now and push that past that line, get within 6 of the victory, and Bad News Eagles will know that that's where the danger zone really comes in for them. Of course, still recoverable from this position. 8-7 half. It means a differential of 2 at this moment. Momentum most certainly with the Swedish core, and then go it. Quick plays in towards ramp. Does get dealt with relatively effectively. A couple of USP kills have come down against the MAC-10 and the rifle. But all in all, should still be the round for NiP as they fast rotate back to the B site.
And now for JXX and center, you think about the idea of just holding on to that Galil, bringing it forward into the next round, allowing themselves to not spend all the way down to the minimal amount for a single individual. 10-7 for NiP. And you've got to imagine someone like Esatag is going to be very hungry to have a good performance here at the RMR when we consider the fact that he's had 419 maps on LAN. He's only actually attended a single major. So a good run here at the RMR will get him to his second.
And the right kind of team to do it. NiP, of course, a staple of the majors. Will they get in this time? That's the big question. That's the big concern. Massive risk changing your IGLs in the middle of attempting to qualify for one. It's not exactly like NiP are completely infallible. They have missed out on an majors in the past, most famously the E-League run that had Vega Squadron, I believe.
I do remember that. The cash game, the 16-2 stomping.
Yeah. Don't want to let that happen again. Fortunately, at this juncture, not quite close to losing out in a 16-2 fashion. In fact, if anything, they could get a more one-sided scoreline towards their favor against Bad News Eagles. I'm still very far away from the promotion to the major itself, so there's still another step on the ladder for NiP at this moment. Bad News Eagles up on their gun by now.
Just looking for that response. rigoN getting quite aggressive to the top of 51, trying to play around that utility. Hasn't seen anything to the tarps just yet. There is quite a few players to the right-hand side of the bottom of ramp.
Smokes sent in, nades down, GXX watching with rigoN, Alexi D looking to swing, flash forward, spray is all over the place! Oh no, Alexi! Thank God he's got Brollan to get the double up and maintain the advantage for the Ninjas. A site under siege, sinnopsyy can't quite hold from the back, suppressed by flames and smokes and now get forced away.
And for BNE, they've got to make a tough decision here, whether they brute force through those smokes or give the respect to the bomb plant and play the retake.
Could have been near disaster for NiP. Bad news, eagle still going to try and make it so. Flash forward, Brollan, blind by the flash, still gets sinnopsyy. Flatcher will fall as Hampus connects his kill. And Senna is left alone, 1-on-4, got to save.
And I think if you look at the positive in that situation, it shows how vital the util was there for NiP. Yes, it was a struggle. Yes, it was a whiff for Alexi. But because that flash is so perfect and they've already got the information with spotting the barrel of rigoN up there at 51, it means that Brollan could come through with the assistance, get that trade frag, and just continue doing damage up to the bomb site directly. For BNE, this is worrying because you need to get off to a good start in this second half, and instead it's been a rollover these last few rounds.
I have to say, thank God that Brollan was in the server for that round because that could have gotten very awkward from the start. Triple in the end. Not quite top fragging for his team. 3 behind Rez at 18. But for that round, he was the difference maker, and NiP keep themselves held. 11-7 at this juncture. Bad news, Eagles yet to start on CT side. Only 3 rounds deep. Might have even further concerns here for round 19. Hero M4, round a half buy.
Set up, trying to make as much happen with this sort of buy as possible. And you consider the idea, you got one M4, got a couple of upgrades. I'd like to see something a bit more gambling, stacked heavy, try and regroup as many players together as possible. We've seen how much consistency Rez and Brollan have brought across the board. It's where that consistency is going to lie come on the BNE side, because I'll tell you this much, Jay, I did not expect Senna to be the top fragger for BNE in this game.
Well, right now he is. sinnopsyy attempting the Eagle's shot, gets domed in by Brollan instead. All-important fight to start. Rez goes down to center as that M4 does find its engagement. Now 2 players on the B side, crossfire, 1 man on the rotation back. Flatcher has evaded Alexi entirely, does get that Deagle headshot, captures one to drop the bomb. 2 kills more to gain, but 2v2 as Hampus trades. rigoN in the backside, seeing nade. Sail right past it, but also one connects. Awkward space from Hampus again come through, but S-Tag has control. Probably a lot more damage than NiP were expecting, but a round for them nonetheless.
Oh, that gets super tense once again. And I think it shows how dangerous BNE can be on these half buys, on these ecos, trying to get another one of those steals forward. 12-7, 5 rounds the difference. And I'm probably pinning it at this round right here, round 20. If BNE do not strike with a round victory, I think it's done. I think NiP have just got too much money and momentum behind them to start running away with the last few rounds to close this best of 1 in a one-sided fashion.
I reckon I'm with you there. BNE have got to get some success relatively soon here. They've set themselves up for a potential swing. Again, economy is in the toilet for NiP. Money's okay for now. The broken buy will come through in the next round, and after that, it could be full reset, but they just continue to find these opening picks. Brollan on rigoN, 5-on-4.
You can feel how much pressure they've put onto rigoN over the course of this entire map of Vertigo. sinnopsyy trying to see if he can do some damage, spot the feet for S-Tag. Down to 16, that's a lot of damage, while Brollan still holds the area of the Tarbs.
Expecting a swing back from the alley entrance, but BNE will not give him that. GXX gonna watch and wait with the position held from passive rather than extending forward. Incendiaries will drive him away. Brollan might be forced to reposition, as might GXX. He's not taking damage, actually. The flashbang will force him back. Swing forward from Brollan, gets that kill. 5-on-3 now.
BNE just have to stack up towards this A site, have everyone here. Are they thinking of backing off? They've got to make a decision.
Looked like it was going to be a safe call for the moment, then instead of setting up the boost on sinnopsyy. Detected by that AWP, and Rez just locks on and executes with sheer prejudice. Flatcher did catch one trade in that one, and getting the secondary kill as well, but not quite the triple. Hampus trades it back. It's on the center to get a triple of his own. Gets one player on the center of the site. But now hunting around for Brollan, and S-Tag can't see either one of these individuals, making a bit of noise. Swinging up slowly, Brollan. Lucky he didn't get tagged on that one. That would have been enough percentage to try and commit towards this. Defuse will not get stuck. Brollan will catch his triple. Another triple for him. And a 13th round for NiP.
And how many times have we seen this over the course of today and even yesterday, Jay, that teams have quite a lot of competitive nature. We come into the second half and it's just a sweep. It's just a rollover. We saw it in the K23 game. We're now seeing it here against NiP and B&E. Not much to work with at all. Brollan, he has been deadly with some of these entries up to A.
Deadliest that NiP would love. Able to always follow it up and turn it into a round advantage. Oh, shots on GXX again, Rez. And apply pressure to the Eagles. Doesn't quite find anything more than just that damage for now.
B&E having another one of these grouped up setups, more so towards mid as of right now. Alexi with the crew starting to take control out to the B stairs. Start working that execution once again. Still plenty of time left on the clock.
Center with his M4. Snap back alongside GXX. Smokes come down. Flashes forward. He tries to take an early engagement and get that first frag for the Bad News Eagles. They're going to need it at this stage.
Senna doesn't know whether he should overswing or not. Needs to be able to find as much impact out of this M4. Now the XC's coming.
Molotov's in. Senna still sprays, holds his nerve, but burns alive. Losing that M4 crucially for the CT side. Fletcher is right behind him, playing off the edge of that smoke. The flashbang does come over and doesn't do much for it. He will get hampers, but he finds a kill in the interim, and Brollan was there for the trade. A 3-on-2 now with rigoN standing alone. rigoN now in the 1 versus 3. Smokes will come back and he will hunt for Etta tag, knowing that he's close on the center of the site. Should get a bomb plant. But a 1v3 clutch.
rigoN, we need a special with that dig. 1v3, trying to work around the util. And knowing that there was so much invested into this buy. This is not the outcome that they were looking for at all. Brollan out to that quad position. The other two T-side players towards the left-hand side. That's at least the start.
To get the follow-up and then the triple. SMG against Etta tag might be nice. Going back for that AK, might just look to save it. No defuse kit. 10 seconds to the stick. It's behind harder cover. Rez known. Spray back doesn't even get the double. That's 14-7 now. NiP running away with this one. Bad News Eagles in the half switch. We talked about that first half potential for both squads, and then I brought up the fact that, again, it was a 12-3 against Eternal Fire, with Eternal Fire turning around 14 rounds at the end of that last best of one. And it feels to me like history was repeating itself for the second time here.
It's just a shame that it's not more competitive than what we've seen, Jay. Just when you take into account what we saw in that first half, and maybe they were banking on the steals too much. Consider the fact it's a 14-7 scoreline. B&E won, what was it, 2 of those steal rounds and 1 clutch. You start taking that more into the equation, and when we look at the clean rounds and the ones that were more thorough, they've actually been quite minimal. Haven't seen many of them at all. And this is an NiP team that have come in very drilled, very disciplined. We've seen a lot from Rez, Brollan in particular on the T side, Hampus with his consistency. And for B&E, if you want to try and get some of these upsets, we've got to see the star players. And unfortunately, Flatroo, rigoN, and GXX, we haven't seen in the limelight.
Vincena leading the charge, but even GXX, 8 kills so far. sinnopsyy on 4. Real laggards here for the B&E camp. Even though Alexi himself is on 8, that's more than the one frag of B&E, plus all of his teammates. 21 kills for Brollan, 20 kills for Rez, impactful ones at that. All sorts of bonuses and opportunities going the way of NiP. At least the nades have started things off right for B&E.
Brollan getting flashed off for the angle. Not a peek coming through from rigoN. The spam coming ever so closer. It seems to be another lean in towards the A site for NiP.
Trade blows with the HEs here on the T side line. rigoN will take a little bit of it, but not quite get the kills here. First minute tick by, 55 seconds on the clock. Try and hunt for that pick sooner rather than later. rigoN flashed in, smokes, utility traded back and forth. Brollan still try hold his lonesome against rigoN. Molotovs will drive him back.
And now that it's got silent, B&E are second guessing themselves. Is it going to be the A play? They've got 4 here with the aggressive setup from Senna.
Flash over, rigoN catches that directly in the face. Undetected though, secondary flash around the corner. And now is a dead man. Brollan will not whiff that spray. 5 on 4, making it 3 with Hampus' follow-up. GXX is trying back in with a decent trade. Backup's on the way and GXX doubles up. sinnopsyy, low HP, is forced to back off himself. Swing back on Hampus could yield a decent kill, but Rez will get that bomb plant in. AWP is close up on the bomb site and Senna will capitalize upon that with the M4. 2 on 2 now, and they got to extend out. Look for Alexi, see his head. Hampus, low HP in this exchange. Alexi's got to take first face against Senna. M4 slowly wraps in, gets his kill, and Hampus, an unknown entity right here. They're going to look to try to get on the bomb. Look towards the alley position. No one's watching this from Ram. Senna's caught, spray through. sinnopsyy's tagged to 3 points of health, and Hampus playing for time, knowing that Orba's got to make his way up and over, and he plays that clutch to perfection. A quadra for Hampus, and it's a match point for NiP.
It's another excellent round coming through from the Swedes, and you could just see there the tempo, the way they slow it right down. They get themselves into a 2v2 post plant. Yes, Alexi falls, but Hampus just plays the time. And for BNE, they're expecting both players to swing together. So the fact that they've dropped Alexi, they've swung out to ramp and haven't seen any more, they expect him to be Ali, and that's where he can play the time, draw that distraction. What a beautiful clutch coming through.
When BNE felt like they were finally going to get started on the CT half, it all comes crumbling down. I'll say that again, it gets started on the CT half. They haven't scored a defensive round, Dweg. It's been NiP from the 16th. Now it looks to be 16 for this squad.
Alexi gonna get mollied down. Even this MP9 is just so completely blinded. Yes, you're taking the map control away, but you haven't been able to act with a frag at all. And how quickly NiP are able to take back this bridge control towards the lower side of Ram.
rigoN will try force forward. Nade might be a decent idea if he places it right. Flashes coming in for the T's will indicate that they're making their way up. That nade lands right in the open, expecting there to be some major aggression rush up ramp. That's just not just happened here. NiP taking their time, baiting in the crucial utility piece. Now there's one smoke left here for BNE.
And it shows the lack of information that BNE have had for the majority of rounds in this second half. Look at the gamble stacks. We've seen so many gambles out towards this A site, and they're going to do it again.
No choice in the matter, but NiP has still dealt with them. AK and sinnopsyy, Flatcher right behind them, flashbangs forward, there's the spray, there's the kill, low HP, but still looking in against Flatcher, who will trade, but that's 1 out of 3. GXX comes up good out the side, A-Links to get Rez next up, but can't quite hold his nerve. Senna alone in the 1-on-3 clutch, need one of the clutch of his own right. He's the right player in this circumstance for BNE, 20 kills, top fragging. Need to isolate where they're at, but Rez creeps around from 51. 16-7, BNE don't get a single round in the second half as the Ninjas go up 2-0 in the Swiss.
It's a comfortable performance coming through from the Swedes. Brollan, Hampus, and Rez, really impressive. That dynamic trio doing so much work. And for BNE, while it was competitive in the first half, they were slept in the second.
That's a big concern for them going forward, of course, with the close affair that they had against Eternal Fire in that first round. The future best of ones and maybe even the best of threes might not